Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to season two of TBI Uncovered. The platform now allows traumatic brain survivors, those with brain injuries, brain conditions, stroke survivors, the wheelchair community, caregivers, medical professionals, organizations, and anyone associated with brain injuries to share their stories and provide tips and resources to those impacted. On today's episode, I have somebody come from Atlanta and she's a gun violence survivor like myself. So I'm very interested in hearing her story. So I'm going to bring her in now so she can introduce herself. Hey, Deanna. Can
Hello,
you hear me? How are you doing today?
I am well. How are you, Erica?
Pretty good. So I want you to start by introducing yourself, and then you can go to your story.
Okay, I'm Deanna. I reference myself as a butterfly, so I'm your favorite butterfly. I am from Atlanta, Georgia, and I have a T7, T8 spinal cord injury. I am 11 years post injury, coming up on 12 years, February 28th. I was injured in Houston 11 years ago, and I just moved to Houston
Wow.
2 months prior.
Hmm.
And when I got there, it was an experience that I planned that helped me with the decision to stay there.
Okay.
But one day I was leaving to go and help one of my friends with like some homework, and I didn't take the gate key with me. And it's interesting when I reflect back on the day of my injury because literally I made 3 attempts to walk out of the door with my gate key. But on that third attempt, I just turned around and threw it back on the counter. That night, when I got home, I didn't have my gate key. So I had to wait for somebody to either go into the apartment complex or wait for somebody to come out. I saw two cars approaching the exit of the gate. And so I pulled in front of the part of the gate that didn't open. So when they came out, I can just go around the closed gate and go in behind them. Gate open. First car came out and just started firing from inside the car.
Wow.
Second car came and it was a guy sitting on the back seat window pane with two guns aiming directly at me, shooting. And mind you, I just moved there. I didn't know anybody, and they could see who I was because I was sitting, like literally sitting up under a light post, and the light was beaming on me.
Yeah.
So when people ask why, when my injury first happened, I used to say that it was random. But as I continue to live and grow and prosper with a spinal cord injury and just spiritually, period, as a being, it's it's something that needed to happen in order for me to sit down and live instead of walking and existing the way that I was prior to my injury.
Wow. That's right there. The last part again. Say the last part again. You said it needs to happen because you need to sit down
And
and
live
live.
live
Versus,
versus walking and existing, because prior to my injury I wasn't living. I was literally merely existing, doing things to get by. Whereas now, like, I have purpose, I have passion. Then there were things that I liked to do, but I wasn't doing it with purpose, and I didn't know anything about passion. So it's like once my injury happened, I was forced. And prior to, my granny, she had passed away 2 months prior, and she would always tell me, "You just fast, child. You just fast. You need to sit down." And lo and behold, once my injury happened, I say, "Hey, Granny, your girl's sitting down," but I do more in my chair than I did on my feet.
wow.
Yeah,
I agree. It's the same way for me. Like, well, I did a lot before, but I feel like I do way more now. I'm
yeah,
way busier now. It's like you would think of me the opposite, but wow,
yeah. Exactly. And
wow.
honestly, Erica, I feel like personally and just doing the research and just observing, other individuals with limitations, whether physical, mental, emotional, whatever, because honestly, I feel like we all have some type of limitation. It's just not as obvious as mine. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So you can either do one or two things. You're either going to embrace it for what it is and love it and live with it, or you're going to wallow in it. And the only thing you can do with wallow is you're going to be hindered by it. So it was like once it happened, I was forced to reflect on the individual that I was prior to my injury. Do you get what I'm saying? Like I was forced to realize that, okay, yes, you may be this diva, but ish don't always, you know what I'm saying? Because that's the mentality that I had, that hey, if it wasn't about me, it wasn't about nothing. I have that mentality now, but I'm more caring now than I was prior to my injury.
Okay. I feel like he had that me involved as well, but wow, you're a powerhouse. I love it. I'm here for it.
I get that often. And it's so unfortunate that people, not everybody is, and it's like it's a give or take for me. I don't know what your experience is in the TBI community, but it's a give or take. Like, no offense, but I don't hang out with people in wheelchairs. You know what I'm saying? And I advocate for them, I support them, but I have a different mentality. And I'm a firm believer that in order for you to actually live and not exist, you change your mind, everything else gonna follow suit, regardless of what your limitation is. It's about what you believe. You know what I'm saying? And like I said, it's like a give or take for me. You have those who are, yay, Team DeAnna, you doing the damn thing. But excuse my language. But then you have those who intentionally try to bring you down with them. I don't mean any harm, but I don't wallow.
Yeah.
I don't wallow.
You're positive, yeah.
Yeah. I don't wallow. I don't sit well in negative spaces.
Me either.
Like it's easy for me to discern when to move and how to move. You get what I'm saying? And I'll tell a person in a New York second, family, friend, or foe. I don't care who you are. If my energy ain't rocking and we not vibing, I've never had a problem removing my assets. Do you understand what I'm saying?
I love it. I love it. You're so vibrant. You're so vibrant. I'm here for all of it.
Well, thank you. Thank
So,
you. I try to be.
so how are you pre-injury? Were you saying fireball or were you just
Oh, I was a monster. I was a firecracker prior to. My brother is laughing at me. I was I was a lot. I was a lot to handle. Too cold to hold. I was a lot. But the difference now is then I didn't care. Like I would intentionally do and say things to hurt people because I know I could. Do you understand what I'm saying? With that firecracker, with the personality that I had, I didn't care. Whereas now it's like I'm a little contained, but I'm still a firecracker. I'm still bombshell, like I am. I'm still me. It's just more so contained. It's more so embracive. It's more so caring. It's more so loving. I was unconsciously a loving person and prior to my injury, and it's like now I'm an intentional loving individual. I'm light. I understand my purpose in life. I'm light. Anybody that meets me, they gonna feel it. They gonna feel all this good loving.
isn't it freeing when you find out your purpose and who you are? Isn't that like such a freeing feeling? Like it's just like
it is. I know, like the gates of heaven have opened up.
Yes, it is. It is. I definitely agree with that. Yes, it is. Your eyes open up like it's like a whole new world. Like
It really is. It really is. You have to experience it in order to feel that. And nothing has to happen to you in order for that light bulb to go off or for that brightness to, you know what I'm saying, explode. Nothing has to happen to you on a physical or mental aspect in order for it to happen. It's just more so about, I think when you experience an injury, you're forced to self-reflect on a deeper level.
Gotcha.
And that self-reflection is what allows that horizon, that broadening of one's light.
So, would you say that since you accepted your injury and everything that came along with it, is that why this is new injury? Is that why you think it's more so freeing because you learn how to accept it?
Yeah.
Okay.
That I know that to be a fact, and not just with me, just doing the research as well as watching others, as well as my mentees and the clients that I have. Prior
Okay.
to them actually accepting where they are right now, it's a
Mhm.
challenge for them. But once they begin to live in the moment and accept the moment, then they slowly come out of that challenge because they're realizing that it's all about this moment right here. That happened for a reason. You may not be able to identify it immediately, but at some point it'll come to you, but you just have to be aware and ready enough to embrace that why.
Absolutely. I definitely agree with that. I love that. And I feel like we're on the same wavelength. Like I think the same way you think. I feel the same way you feel. Like it's there's no reason to be negative. There's no reason to when you be given a second chance of life. That's what I think. That's what I believe. So
Yes.
I'm here for all that. I'm just loving your energy. I'm loving it. So what is your journey? What is your recovery journey been like? Your recovery journey, like as far as like, did you get speech therapy, occupational therapy?
Yes. I didn't have any insurance when my injury first happened because I just moved to Houston. I was supposed to start work the very next day. It happened on a Sunday. I was due to start work that Monday.
Okay.
So with me not having any insurance, I had limited resources in Houston.
Okay.
I did go. I was hospitalized for 2 weeks, and then I was in physical therapy for 4 weeks at Tshirt, my favorite place in the world. Like, I promise, it's the best rehabilitation in the world. Like, it's
Yeah.
ranked number 2 in the nation, and it's ranked
Wow.
number 2 for a reason. Like, my best friend, one of my best friends, she's an occupational therapist there, and just the care that Tier provides, like, although I had limited rehabilitation because of my lack of insurance and then my healing process, because my spinal cord was fractured and it had to heal, so it was not a lot that I could do. But the
Right.
month that I was there, originally, I'm gonna be honest with you, when I first got there, I felt like I was in a it's interesting what we say. Let me
Mm-hmm.
say this. Let me start by saying that we
Mm-hmm.
must be mindful of the things that come out of our mouths. And let me tell you why. When I first got to Tier, I called my mom and I told her I felt like I was in a mental institution. And I hadn't even given it a chance. It was just something new for me. You know what I'm saying? Being in a rehabilitation and hospitalized. It was something new for me.
Yeah.
So I did get physical therapy there and I did get occupational therapy there. And then when I left there, I went to my native state, which is Arkansas. And in Arkansas, I went to Hot Springs Rehabilitation, and it was supposed to be my second phase of therapy.
Okay.
No, ma'am. No,
Hmm.
ma'am.
Hmm.
It did not provide anything that I needed.
Hmm.
Now, it was the mental institution that I said I felt like I was in.
Hmm.
Do you
Hmm.
understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It was a vocational it's a what is it called? It's a vocational ACTI, Arkansas Career Training Institute.
Okay.
Now, while I was there, I hated it because I felt like I didn't belong there. But
Hmm.
once I got my certification and I left there, it was a reality check for me that I wasn't there for me.
Hmm.
I was there for all the other individuals who did not have the strength that I had, and they had very minor physical, something more mental
Hmm.
and intellectual issues. Do you understand what I'm
Right.
saying?
Yeah.
And I have like a lot of the people, a lot of my peers that were there, like we still have close relationships because of how I just helped them. You know, like I didn't learn how to do, I had one nurse who taught me how to do my bowel program. And she didn't even teach me. She forced me. She told me, she said, no, this is what I'll tell you what to do and you figure it out. Here's your mirror, here are your underpads, and you figure it out. And it just took me one time because I was 29, 30, and I wasn't comfortable with somebody else wiping my tail. So it was like I was forced to learn things on my own. I was forced to, I had very little resources. Everything that I know, 95% of the things that I know living with a spinal cord injury, Erica, I taught myself.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's big. Wow, that's big. Wow. Wow.
And that's what my YouTube channel is for. That's why I started my YouTube channel, A Butterfly's Den, because of the limited resources.
Subscribe to your channel.
Yeah.
I started your channel maybe like months ago. Like, somebody told me about you, and I was like, "Oh, come check it out." And I was like, "Yo, when you like, okay, here you are. We are now. Like, what are the chances?" So, wow.
Yeah.
What am I doing? Wait a minute. I'm a subscriber, so.
But no, that's why I started it, because I had so many questions at the onset of my injury. And no offense to other background demographics, but as a woman of color, it wasn't coming to me at the way that I saw it being provided for my peers that are not of color. You get what I'm saying? So it's like these people need to know that just because you got this limit, that don't stop you.
That's right.
I was living in a house with stairs and no lifts. I'm gonna make it work. I'm gonna hop each and every last one of these steps, and I'm gonna pull my wheelchair up with me. Because hey, I don't have a sliding board. I never lived in an accessible apartment or condo. I do what I do. I make it work the best way that I can. Now I may bust my tail sometime, but I don't do nothing but laugh and I get right back up.
That's it. That's right. If I could try again. Wow, he has so much resilience. Like, wow, it's amazing. What, what, is,
Thank
what,
you.
is, what do you say is the most gratifying goal that you achieved?
What is who
Yeah. That's
prior
been a
to
long
my injury? It is like seriously, it's my education. And let me tell you why. Prior to my injury, I dropped out of high school in the 12th grade because I felt like I couldn't be taught. It was boring and it was not challenging for me. I had my son and I dropped out of high school. And after my injury now, prior to my injury, it was easy for me to obtain jobs because, like my granny used to tell me, smart as a whip, wise beyond my years, and smart as a whip. I've always been smart. And I worked at US Cellular. It was easy for me to get jobs and obtain them because I'm good at everything that I do. I'm great at everything that I do. Okay. So after my injury, it's like, okay, this was easy for me to do this because I worked my way up and, I obtained the skills and knowledge to become a retail manager. But people are going to view me different because the first thing that they're going to see is my wheelchair. So I got my GED. It took me only 11 hours of study. I could have gotten it immediately, but the state of Arkansas required 11 hours of study. So I got my GED. I got my bachelor's in English. I got my master's in English and creative writing with a screenwriting concentration. And I am in my final course of obtaining my second master's in clinical psychology with a clinical counseling concentration. And with that, once I'm licensed, I am opening my own practice for individuals of color with physical limitations and or mental limitations so that I can help them learn how to live an independent life with whatever diagnosis they've been diagnosed with. I can't hear you.
I'm sorry.
There you go.
just talking. I had my mic because it was loud outside. But I said that's so amazing, and kudos to you. That's so like that is so amazing that you have such a giving heart. You know, God uses you to be so bold and boisterous because I mean a lot of people are kind of timid. So
Yeah,
I'm glad He uses you. I'm glad He uses you to this capacity because a lot of people aren't vocal, like you said. A lot of people don't
right.
pick up for themselves, don't advocate for themselves, and don't know how to do
Mhm.
so. By you
Mhm.
being the light that you are, and give them hope, give them an example that they can do it, that they can, it's
Yeah.
possible, that it's possible. So this, I'm enjoying it. This is so amazing.
Look
So
at you.
I'm so excited, like just so excited. So what's that thing that keeps you moving forward? Like they was asking, what keeps you moving forward? So what's that thing for you that keeps you moving forward?
Me,
You
me,
okay?
me, my son. I have a 23-year-old. What do I look like giving up? That's a young man. Do you
Mhm.
understand what I'm saying? That's a whole young man. And I'm sure you know how easy it is for young males to fall victim,
Oh yeah,
especially males of color.
oh yeah,
No, not in this household. No, sir.
yeah,
You may be off to college, you may be grown and living in Chicago doing your own thing, but he still sees me and he
yeah.
sees everything that I do.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, why not? I have
Yeah.
no reason to not keep going, like I
What
have
is
more reasons to keep
yeah.
going than I do to not. You get what
Yeah.
I'm saying?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So what do you find is therapeutic for you?
What it what?
What do you find is therapeutic for you to do? Is writing
What's
therapeutic for you?
therapeutic? I write, I meditate, I connect with the universe different
Okay.
ways. Yeah, writing is my main thing though. Writing and meditating.
I,
Yeah.
I, I could agree with the writing. Meditating, I do more so prayers than meditating. But they both are equally great things to do. So
Right.
I like to do it. I can resonate with you writing. So I'm already myself, so we have that in common. So what's your first year like after your injury? Your first year?
My very first year, it was it's interesting. It was
It's been how long?
interesting.
It's been how
I'm
long?
sorry.
It's been how long?
11.
11 years. Okay.
Yeah. The first year was a challenge because it was about gaining understanding when the resources or that you have so many questions and it requires a lot to answer those questions and it requires time, you know. I had no patience, so it was like it required patience because me being who I am, I had the mentality, oh, I'm walking up out of here and the next day,
Okay.
and it's okay. Like you should have that, but that became my focus and that focus hindered me.
Hmm.
That's why my first year was hard
Gotcha.
because I was focused on walking instead of focused on recovering and living.
Hmm. I'm so glad you touched on that because I can say that for myself too. I had a friend when I was in rehab. When I was working here, and he was like, "Earth, you were shaking your head like it's not like an easy 1, 2, 3 thing." And I
Right.
didn't. I'm focused on getting back on my feet. That's all I know. I'm not focused on healing and let my brain heal
Hmm.
and but
Yep.
I think it's my feet like
Yep.
they got slow me down. Like I need to go. Like
For
come
real.
on,
Like seriously. For real.
lady said it because that's very important. My first year was like this, so I'm like I can resonate what you're saying. So
I
yeah.
made it challenging for myself. I made my first year challenging for myself. I was angry, I was bitter, and I was extremely mean. I
Always
think we all go through it. I think we all go through it. And the reason why is because we don't understand what's happening, and everything prior to is a buildup. And then this, it's
like what?
like, what is happening here? Like this is not what my life is supposed to be like. This is not how I picture. Yes.
Like, hey,
Yep. I was so mean. Oh,
Oh,
I
goodness.
was, and it hasn't always been easy for me to say that comfortably, but now I can because I'm
Get it
aware,
together.
I'm
Yeah.
aware of feeling and knowing, but that's what
Yeah.
it was. Like, I'm gonna
Mhm.
keep it 100. I
Yeah,
was a very angry young lady.
yeah, I was too. And people like, you were? I'm like, yes. Don't let this fool you because I was.
Yeah,
Okay, no, guys like this, so
that's what I say. They be like, "Oh, Deanna, but you're so pleasant and you're just so full of joy,
now,
baby."
now I am.
Right.
Only you knew back then.
If you
Mm-hmm.
only knew exactly.
So let's talk about your 2.0. I call myself Erica 2.0. Let's talk about DeAnna 2.0.
Uh-oh.
You got so many things going on. You just talked about your the things the agency you want to open up for people with disabilities and in wheelchairs and things like that. So let's talk about your book. You're a storyteller. Let's talk about your book. What kind of story do you tell? First of all,
Okay, so I'm a different kind of writer. I'm a writer. I'm not an author. Okay. There's a difference between the two. Authors don't write. I'm a
well,
writer.
wait a minute. I guess tomato, tomato, but I just like the title art. But it's just I don't know.
I say that. I say that because I write anything. I write
Okay.
everything from fiction to nonfiction, grants, music, proposals. I
Gotcha.
write everything. So I'm a writer. But when it comes to my authorism and my storytelling, I'm real. I'm a realist. Don't put me the same way that I am with how I counsel other individuals. I'm the exact same way in life.
Okay.
Don't put me in the box. Don't give me one specific category because that's not me. That doesn't define me. It doesn't define my style, like, because if you do that, then it's easy for a person to be disappointed because they're expecting a certain something. And I can't, no, 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 no. Expectations sometimes lead to disappointment. So remove the expectations. And my storytelling is real. My current novel, Meet Love Through My Eyes,
Mm-hmm.
it is a fiction novel and it's available on all platforms. Anywhere you purchase books in any country, it is available. And it's just real. It's about real life experience of lack of love, real life experience of dishonesty. It's inspired by true events and not just necessarily things that I've gone through, but some of my close friends' experiences or close relatives' experiences that I just put in a fiction form to tell some real ish. I
Gotcha.
got a potty mouth, Erica. My apologies. I'm trying to contain myself. If you
You
haven't
know, you're doing good. You're doing good. You're doing good.
okay, but it's good, and I have really good reviews. I have really great reviews. One of my friends, he's in his 70s. He
Okay.
read it and he called me and he was just laughing and he said, "Who taught you how to write like this? Did you go to school to learn how to write like this?" I'm like, "No, Charles. I mean, it's just in me. I've always loved writing." And so he's like, "You write so good. I can actually visualize every single thing you said in your book." So it's good. I won't tell you the story. You have to
No,
get it,
I
read it
gotta get
yourself.
it. I gotta get it. I'm getting it. I'm getting it. So don't worry
It's
about that.
good.
I got you covered. I'm gonna support you, so definitely got that. I'm
Thank
gonna give you. I'm gonna put it on social media when I do get it. So don't worry about it. I got you. I got you on that. So
Thank
tell about your boss movement. Your boss. So you say BOSS movement. What does that?
uh
What does it
believe
mean?
it's not mine. It's actually this guy, his name is Don Juan Clark. He's actually Candy Burris Tucker's general manager. It's
Okay.
his.
That's fine. Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. It's just a t-shirt that I got from him, and I feel it 100%, because I am a boss. And what that means is what he broke the acronym down to is believes others should succeed. I'm a firm believer in encouraging and helping others succeed because that's where I get my joy. It's just like me sitting conversing with you right now. I get joy out of this
Yeah.
because I'm a boss and I believe in helping Erica succeed. You feel what I'm saying?
That's
Okay.
right. We're both bosses, so yeah.
Exactly. Exactly.
I gotta give a t-shirt too. I get all kind of stuff.
themeaningbrand.com.
What is it?
Themeaningbrand.com. It's themeaningbrand.com.
The meaning brand. Okay, the meaning brand.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely gonna plug that. So what do you enjoy most about empowering women?
What do I enjoy most about empowering other women?
Mhm.
Everything. Just the ability to watch other women grow, the ability to watch other women prosper. It's a whole world out here. It's
It
opportunity for everybody. We all have things that we are capable and able of doing. We all have things that we are capable and able of succeeding in, but sometimes we need that encouragement. Sometimes we need that motivation from another woman. Sometimes we need to see another woman doing it in order to know. So that giving that to other women, that ability to see something, to see somebody else empowering, I get joy out of that. I get joy out of seeing other women succeed, not just women, but people.
People in general. I love that. Everybody want people to win. I can appreciate that.
Yes.
So you're also a speaker. I, I,
If you
I,
didn't
I,
notice.
I was lurking. I was lurking at your social media. I was lurking. So what do you speak about? What do you enjoy speaking about?
I speak about different topics. Sexuality, spinal cord injury, childhood trauma. I speak about everything. It's different topics, and what I enjoy most about speaking is my ability to share, the opportunity to share. I have a voice, and I did not know how to utilize my voice until after my injury.
Yeah.
So, like now, I'm excited. I'm lit up. If you was in my presence, you would see I got chill bumps, and it ain't even cold where I'm at.
Feel the
Do you
energy. Feel
understand what I'm saying to you?
yes,
So
energy.
just the ability to share, you know what I'm saying? The ability to just, I believe in being a help to others in
Yeah.
order for me to live prosperously. If
I love
I'm
that.
not helping others, whether it's me speaking or whether it's me writing, because anything that I write, I'm dropping gems. You're
Mhm.
going to get some messages. Anything I say, I'm dropping gems. Bloop, you're going to get a message. That's just who I am.
I love that.
That's just who I am, and I stay swaggy. So, hey.
I'm here for. I'm here for all of it. Here for all of
Oh,
it.
girl. Eric, I guess you say this DeAnna is off the chain. I am.
I'm here for it. I'm here for it. Like I am.
So,
I'm all here for it. So, what's the message you want to share with others?
the same message I shared when I'm done speaking. If you do nothing else, try it. The best way you can, the best way you know how to live and love in life. Simple as that.
Boom. Boom. That's
And
it.
it's easy. It's easy. Living in love and light, all you got to do is find this within here, and everything else will flourish for you. You change your mind, everything else gonna follow suit. Change what
I,
you believe. Learn to know. Stop believing and learn to know. The more you know, the more you can grow.
I love that. And it
If you
rhymes too.
ain't growing, you ain't living. And if you ain't living, you're just existing. Did you hear me bleep out my cuss words?
You are saying too much. Oh my goodness. Well, you're such a ball of energy. I love it. So what do you want people to know about gun violence in particular?
uh, I used to have my discrepancies when it came like to guns, period.
Mm-hmm.
But it's not nothing in particular about gun violence, but what people fail to realize when it does come to the misuse of weapons, you're
Mm-hmm.
not just hurting the individual, you're hurting the individual's family, and you're also hurting yourself because that's something that you got to live with. Do you understand? Regardless of your reason for doing it, whether there was a reason or not, but that's guilt that you got to live with unless you have no heart.
That's right. It's facts right there. It's already facts. So,
People don't realize that when they're doing things, when they're
it,
reacting for whatever reason, yep, they don't realize it's way deeper than that individual. It goes beyond them, and it's way deeper than the physical effects.
it does. My
Yeah,
daddy's is people are reactors. They don't
they
think that
are.
you react. They don't even think about
Yep,
it like reactors. You
that
gotta
is
say
the
something.
truth.
Are you being a reactor? I'm like, am I? I don't want to be like that. So it gets
Right?
me like, it gets me like real quick. So now,
Reactors are unaware. They don't know
yeah,
nothing. That's how I
hmm
view it.
that's true. So now that you know a lot more things, you have a lot of wisdom, a lot of gems, and all that kind of stuff. What words of encouragement would you give someone who has to a new survivor or to somebody that's been through the same thing you've been through? What would you tell them?
The words of encouragement for them,
Hmm.
life goes on.
Okay.
Life goes on. It's not stopping. Your injury, it's happening for a reason. It's not your position. You don't have to try to figure that out right now, but don't
Mm-hmm.
allow it to hinder you. You understand what I'm
That's
saying?
yeah.
Like literally, there
Lit.
is a whole world outside of the rehabilitation bubble. Do you understand what I'm saying? Don't expect to leave rehabilitation and get the same treatment in rehab at home because it's different. You have to tell your family members how to treat you, how to move your body around, how to do this, how to care for you. You have to be able to vocally do this. So just remember that rehabilitation is for the moment. Life goes on after I leave here.
Yeah.
This injury, this is right here, right now for this moment. I still got a whole life to live
Mm-hmm.
because life goes on. It really does. And that they don't know that. They don't believe that. They don't feel that. And that's what hinder a lot of people with physical limitations and mental limitations. And that is what causes them to become disabled. Notice I don't use the word disabled or disability.
Mm-hmm.
I
Mm-hmm.
don't. I don't because that's not what it is. And I don't have that. I have more abilities than I have this limitation of not being able to walk right now. I still
Mm-hmm.
got movement. I still got sensation. I just can't get up out this chair and walk like I used to. Do you understand what I'm saying? So
I'm
how
saying
is
that.
that disabled? I've been independent and living on my own since a year for 10 years. How is
Wow.
that a disability? Do you understand what I'm saying, Erica? So
Yeah.
I don't use it. I don't reference others as that, and I don't reference myself as that. Now, if you want a pity party and you want to be disabled, then by all means necessary, you go right on ahead, but you do that over there.
Woo. Yes, yes, ma'am. I agree with you wholeheartedly. I mean, I get one to and I empathize with people, but then what? You got to get up. You got to get back up. You got to get back up
Exactly.
again. You got to get back up again.
Exactly. Then
So
what? Now what is the
now what?
question?
Now what? So you still got to take a chance of life. So you got to do something with it. So let's get to it. What
Yes.
do you do? This
Yes.
week, your purpose comes into play.
Right.
So
It happened for a reason, and you're still here for a reason. Like people don't
Mhm.
make it through what we've gone through. You
Very true.
know,
Very true. Very true.
people don't make it through that. Like
Yeah.
imagine do the percentage of gunshot to the head survivals. You understand what I'm saying? And non-survivors.
5%.
See, this is what I'm saying. This is what I'm saying. Like, so why not be grateful and say, okay, this could be worse. This could be worse. That's the perspective that I had once I was in an uncomfortable environment. Discomfort, you're growing. And I learned that after the fact. All of the beginning of my injury, when I was uncomfortable, I was growing. As long as I was comfortable, I was stuck.
Wow. That's wisdom right there. I wish I had somebody tell me these kind of things, because like I didn't have nobody. I didn't know nobody who got shot in the head and survived. I didn't know anybody. Yeah, there are people with brain injuries, but they're still going through it themselves. Because
Right.
who's gonna talk to me? This Erica, you can make it through it. I didn't have nobody. I was my own person, and of course
Yep.
God helped. God and me. That's all we had. And my
Yep.
family and friends, they're gonna say so much. They're not living in it. So they can only
Yep.
do so much. And they're not experiencing what I'm experiencing. So I'm glad that people like you are willing to share and talk about it, and I'm glad to ask you that question, because it's important for people to know what to do.
Right.
What to do, what to turn to.
Right.
So I'm glad
It's
you
more
said
resources now than it was 11 years ago, but it's still not as many, and they are hard to find.
absolutely. They're like hidden a little bit.
Right. They are. And I feel like it's intentional, but we won't get
Yeah.
into that.
Hold on conversation.
That's another conversation.
Another day.
That's another day.
Yeah, I get you in my room. I got a room on Clubhouse. You gotta get you in my room, like, on some topics, because you got some good stuff to talk about. So you gotta get in my
Okay,
room.
I'm not familiar with Clubhouse. I'm not familiar with it. I don't mind it. Like, if it's something beneficial, then yes, absolutely. I don't mind it, but
It's bomb. We'll talk about it after this is over, but it's
okay.
very beneficial.
Okay.
So what now? What's next for you?
What now? I have my clinicals that I have to complete for my master's program. So I'll be doing, and then once I am done with my clinicals, that's when I go ahead and launch my practice. Right now, I have a Freedom's Den, and that is mentor and coaching. And once I'm licensed, I'll just redirect the same practice to counseling and therapy. So that's my focus right now. Lottery.
Girl. Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful.
Because I'm going to win a lot, Erica. Y'all remember this. DeAnna said it.
DeAnna said this whole nother that's a show. DeAnna said it. So, but I've had so much fun with this interview. Like, it's so amazing. I think you taking time out and dropping the gems, the knowledge, the wisdom that you dropped. Like, I gotta listen to you again. Like, it was like such a good interview. So tell people, find your social media.
I'm not really big on social media, but my Instagram is DeAnna L Alex. My Facebook is DeAnna L Alexander. And my Twitter is DeAnna L Alex.
And then also where to get your book at, and also your the shirt, the T-shirt. They want to get one.
Oh, I made these myself. Keychains and t-shirts. You can just message me. It built strong. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm gonna
You
kind
can.
of merch.
I'll send you some stuff. I'll send you a goodie bag. You'll have to give me your address and I'll send you a goodie bag. But my book is on any platform, Barnes and Nobles, Amazon, and it's Meet Love Through My Eyes, inspired by true events. Anywhere. Ebook, Apple Book, anywhere, any way you do, it is available. And then my YouTube is A Butterfly's Den, and that's just a lot of me talking about having a UTI with a spinal cord injury, transfers, just different videos and different how-tos. Yeah.
I love it. Well, again, I thank you for taking your time out. And wow, you did this
Thank you
amazing.
so much for having me. Thank you so much for having me.
Well, thank y'all for tuning in for TBI Uncovered season 2. We're out. Bye.